Malaysia will extend its nationwide lockdown by 2 weeks. Now, that lockdown had been due to end on Monday, but it will now continue until the end of June. COVID-19 cases and deaths remain high in the country despite 2 weeks of tight restrictions. Nearly 7,000 new infections have been reported after 2 days of dipping below 5,000. Nearly half the cases are in Selangor. Since Malaysia went into full lockdown at the beginning of the month, only essential economic activities and services have been allowed to operate. At the same time, the King has held a series of meetings with political leaders to discuss the government's handling of the pandemic. The president of the country's largest party, UMNO, has joined calls for Parliament to reconvene so that lawmakers can address the impact of COVID-19. Melissa Go with this report.
Now, it's been a busy few days for the Malaysian King, with back-to-back meetings with heads of political parties from East and West Malaysia. Now, almost all the leaders, not just from the opposition, but also from within Prime Minister Muhyiddin's Perikatan Nasional Alliance, have impressed upon the King the urgency to reconvene the parliament that was suspended after a state of emergency was declared in the country in January. Now, President of United Malay's National Organisation, or UMNO, which is Mr. Muhyiddin's largest political ally, echoed plea from opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim that a state of emergency cannot be extended once it ends on August 1st. Now, otherwise, it would bring more pain, he said, to the people.
Ternyata tanpa darurat pun dahulu, kerajaan masih boleh menguruskan isu-isu berkaitan dengan pandemik COVID-19. UMNO juga membawa suara rakyat yang rata-rata resah dan gelisah dalam menghadapi pandemik COVID-19.
Mr. Zahid also calls on the government to uphold the principle of parliamentary democracy and allows MPs to sit and debate on policies to better fight the pandemic and help the people and support businesses. Now, for starters, he's urging the King to allow a blanket debt moratorium for all borrowers, including the middle and higher income groups, something that banks are unwilling to do. Now, former Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng, who met the King earlier this week, revealed that His Majesty was agreeable to extend the debt moratorium not just to the lower income but the middle income groups as well. But all three Pakatan Harapan leaders, namely PKR's Anwar Ibrahim, Muhammad Stabuan Amana and Mr. Lim, rejected former Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir's proposal for an emergency council known as Mageran to replace the current administration. Now, never before the King is roped in to decide how a country is run. Under constitutional monarchy system, the King reigns. He doesn't rule. Now, His Majesty has rightly told Dr. Mahathir yesterday that only the government of the day, the Prime Minister himself, can propose such a council in an emergency. Now, the King is to meet the rest of the Malay rulers at a special conference on Wednesday next week. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin, who chaired the National Security Council meeting, has decided to roll over the full lockdown for another 2 weeks till June 28, given daily cases still hovering above 5,000. Now, he's also said to be mulling a hybrid parliament to sit during the emergency until majority of the population have been vaccinated. Now, his administration is determined to hang in there till the country is ready to exit the MCO. Until then, no political activities, including elections, can take place. Melissa Go, CNA, Kuala Lumpur.